Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first NASF, or North American Sustainable Farms, podcast episode. This is Thrice. I will be the main guy here talking and burning your ear with all this awesome agriculture information that we want to share with you. We are at the verge of starting a multi-property farm development that focuses on providing organic, sustainably produced food to people who can and cannot afford it. That is really our long-term goal, as well as teaching people how to produce this food themselves. Because in reality, food will always be a necessity, just like water and the air you breathe. So there's no way you can run farmers out of business unless you produce some crazy things like we've seen in the history of at least our country, the United States, and other countries around the world. And those are also things we're going to talk about here. So this episode, by the way, is just an intro episode into what we're going to be talking about, a quick 10-minute segment, and that's actually kind of what you're going to see a lot here on NASF, at least the podcast from NASF here on the podcast. This is a live episode. We will be doing these episodes live, and we will be focused on putting out a schedule that has 10-minute segments, as well as sometimes half an hour to an hour segments. Some of them will be interviews, some of them will be conversations with you guys once we actually get some people who are listening, because there's probably nobody listening right now, at least to the live one. Let me check. Yes, nobody listening right now. So if I make a mistake, at least I don't have to be too nervous, because nobody's their energy is listening at this. Okay, I'm going sidetracked. Getting paranoid, getting stage fright. Okay, shaking a little bit. Okay, done shaking. We're good. So basically, this is going to be a lot of just farming and agriculture, and a little bit of business when it comes to running a farm, and education when it comes to getting into agriculture or farming. All the things behind it when it comes to soil and fungus and poultry, different kinds of livestock, feed when it comes to the livestock as well as the poultry, also the mushrooms, fungi, and bacteria even. I should have said bacteria and fungi, because fungi, when it comes down to that, we're going to be focusing a lot on mushrooms. And when it comes to mushrooms, I am a huge fanatic, so I'm going to be really, really just overboard going into that. I don't know if we're going to do a whole different mushroom podcast eventually, and just have that sidetrack off. But my real goal is, as we grow and we have other people who are interested in joining us as far as hands in the field, we really would like to have other people take over on some of these podcast ideas that we're going to be starting to do. And at this point, that's why we're going to have some of these just be 10-minute segments, because I would like to do this as much as possible, but I'm not going to overextend myself, because that's what I used to do. And I have grown to realize in the 4 to 5 years of doing this that a half an hour to an hour show can be a pretty big obligation sometimes if you don't have it pre-written, and you're not just doing it yourself. And also, doing an interview like that, getting those regularly scheduled if you don't have a network, can be a little difficult as well. So that's going to be why we're going to be doing the 10-minute segments sometimes, and then we will have the half an hour and 1 hour segments once in a while, sprinkled throughout either the week or the month. So you can expect that scheduled to be out on the nasf.life website here soon, probably later this week. And you can also see other stuff that's going to be on that website. It will be getting updated frequently this next month, as well as we will have a YouTube channel where you can see, where you can listen to these audible clips in video form. And we might actually be editing those and adding some things like pictures in the future, but for now it's just going to be the audio, and we will be doing videos to be putting up there as well. I gotta get a drink of water here. So, and if you are listening to this, you'll probably be listening to this live. Totally made a mistake there. If you are listening to this at a later time and you want to listen to this live in the future, there is a chat option on Spreaker. You can actually get the Spreaker app on your phone, and you can chat there while listening to the live podcast. And that is the only time I will stretch the 10-minute ones out to maybe about 20 minutes, but I will be cutting them off if I'm doing 10 minutes that day, because I do want to interact with you guys. I really want to get these different podcasts that I'm doing, this being one of them, as a kind of a forum or community chat about different topics. And my long-term goal for the 10-minute subject or 10-minute segments is really to do that. Basically, me talk for about 5 minutes and get the chat going on a certain topic or maybe multiple topics, and then I go through the chat and focus on what different people are saying or read what different people are saying, and then talk about what I think about that or pose questions and see your guys' answers, and then compare each other's answers and even each other's practices, because some of you may actually be practicing farmers or somebody in an agri-career, agri-job, or even a rancher, by the way. So, with that, I really appreciate all of you who took the time out today to check out this podcast. I'm actually going to keep this one under 10 minutes because it is the intro podcast, and I've kind of talked about everything I need to talk about. So, I am really excited to be doing this. This is one of my real passions at heart because food has been so important to me. Just today, I had a flare-up, and I actually went out and got some of this wild lettuce, which has kind of opioid-like properties. If you didn't know that, wild lettuce is actually really good medicinal food, like dandelions as well. And I just, crammed a couple fistfuls of wild lettuce and other wild greens, and it just completely, within a half an hour, I was feeling great. An hour, I was completely over what I was going through, which is good. I mean, it's not just good, it's amazing. And those are things we want to share here when it comes to what is so important about being sustainable, being conscious and aware of how we are raising and producing our food and how important that is. So, thanks again, y'all. And remember, keep farming.